and thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
Hey, Charlie, can we have another station?
It's that time of the year again. We're deep into the month of October, and Halloween is just around the corner.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, in advance, but it's the best I could do. So, for the occasion of this year's All Hallows Eve, I thought, why not review a bad movie set during this famous holiday? Let's do us the infamous Halloween 3, Season of the Bitch. It's the third installment of this long-running, and frankly at this point, exhausted Halloween franchise, started by John Carpenter in 1978 with his classic feature film Halloween. This movie, though, has no Doctor Loomis, no Jamie Lee Curtis, and no Michael Myers, and we'll see why in just a bit. But just before we get going, if there's a bad movie you'd like me to review, leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know your thoughts and feelings on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
It's cozy, it's quiet, and the price is right.
Let's get into the lore surrounding this film, shall we? After releasing Halloween Part 1 and 2, both Carpenter and producer Deborah Hill wanted to turn the franchise into an anthology series, with each flick having its own premise, its own set of characters, all set around Halloween night.
Sure, it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
So they tried with this movie, but it failed so miserably when it came out that their noble idea was quickly flushed down the toilet.
Nice try.
They went back to the original story and brought Michael Myers out of his dusty-ass coffin again, and have been milking him ever since, let me tell you. Now, some people nowadays see this Michael Myers-less standalone sequel as an underappreciated cult classic, which was just misunderstood at the time of its release. Me, I think the story's dull, the pacing is daft and boring, and it fails on delivering the horror goods it could have potentially brought. Some films when they first came out were poorly received, but over the years people grew to appreciate them and think of them in a more favorable manner. A perfect example would be The Thing, John Carpenter's ultimate masterpiece in my opinion. But as for Halloween 3, it was a piece of shit when it first came out, and it's still a piece of shit today.
Don't you have any Halloween spirit?
No.
I mean, when it comes to the franchise, this movie is even worse than the 2009 remake of the first sequel by Rob Zombie, and that's saying a lot because that other film was pointless dog crap as well. In fact, there's a skit in this film where characters watch the original Halloween on television. So, Tom Atkins, who has seen better days in his acting career, gives a decent performance as a psychiatrist in a hospital. Late one night, he receives a very frightened patient holding a Halloween mask in one of his hands. Soon after, the guy is suddenly murdered by an intruder who quickly sets himself on fire.
That doesn't make any sense.
And instead of spending some time with his young children, who he completely abandons to his divorced wife, Atkins embarks on a sleuthing mission with the dead guy's daughter, some complete stranger he doesn't know. Things get intimate pretty quick, even though the guy's already got a new girlfriend.
I've seen enough. Let's get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie, this man has got some really questionable decision-making process. Let us not forget to mention letting a random bum drink out of the same alcohol bottle he does. While tracing the origins of the mask, it brings them to a predominantly Irish town where the factory is located.
Pretty wild shit going on in there. I heard rumors.
When the locals look at you like that, you know something is about to go down bad. Now, I've got to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. The first part of the movie is actually alright. It's kinda mysterious and even a bit engaging. Atkins and Stacey Nelkin are good in this, even if the characters they play can be a bit cringe. And once again, Carpenter really kills it on the music score, really banging on the synthesizers as always. But things get bad during the second half as the movie drags and drags forever. There comes a point where keeping the mystery a mystery for too long kills the mystery, and that's exactly what happens here.
I think it's time for the Marines.
And when we do get the final reveal, it's absolutely ludicrous. The more I think of it, the more I tell myself it's just farcical. Each mask is fabricated using a small piece of one of the rocks from Stonehenge, which used to be used for human sacrifices to the pagan gods a long time ago. I don't know how the hell they were able to steal a 25-ton stone from a world-famous historical monument without anyone noticing.
A good magician never explains.
When it's Halloween night, all the stones in the mask have the supernatural ability of crushing the kids' heads and delivering them as sacrifice. That's an overwhelmingly elaborate scheme for this. So yeah, the final reveal is pretty pulpy, it's pretty far-fetched, something you'd find in a kid's comic book, and I didn't like it. And the factory owner talks about how Stonehenge somehow belonged to the Irish people a long time ago. This film gets its geography really wrong. Since it's called Season of the Witch, I would have loved to have seen more witches, more memorable gore scenes, more of those masks that crush the faces of kids that wear them and then decomposes. But even if that's the most famous scene from this movie, it's the only one we get, which really disappointed me. So, the characters can be irritating and the script crumbles little by little before our very eyes. Yes, Halloween 3 does not have a lot to offer and is really not good. It doesn't bring that many good frights to the table, and just left a real sour taste in my mouth in the end. So yeah, watch something else for Halloween. What an awful movie.